Welcome to the Scam Economy with your host, Matt Bender.
That's right, it is Scam Economy Crypto Post Show number, oh my God, 16. Wow, geez. Every time I say it, I'm always shocked how far we've come. It feels like just earlier this year I started the show. In fact, it is true. I just started the show earlier this year, and we're already getting a call. Look at this. Already. Let me take the call. I don't want to miss out. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, I'm Osama from Canada. How's
Hey,
it been?
Osama from Canada. How are you? What would you like to talk about this evening?
So I've yet to see the episode, so I can't like really talk about that. The title seems interesting, how Wikipedia cancels crypto.
Oh yeah, well, you should
Uh,
definitely check it out. But you don't have to talk
yeah,
about
I
the
will.
episode. Yeah, feel free to talk about whatever you called
Yeah.
in to talk about.
But yeah, I missed the post stream before after the Tim Pool debate. There was one thing I was just curious about.
Sure.
Like you were there with like Tim Pool, and they're like he's sort of dishonest, so you couldn't like freely talk about it. But what's your like in laws aside, what's your like actual philosophical view on abortion? Because I was just curious in that sense.
Oh,
Like,
mine? What
yeah,
my
yeah,
view
like
is? I talked
I get
about
it.
I talked
Yeah,
about
you're
this.
pro-choice.
I talked about this on the Majority Report earlier today, and for people who don't know, the post show for Scam Economy doesn't always just talk about crypto, because people like to talk to me about politics because of Doomed and what I do for 99% of the other stuff I do. So totally fine. Just want to make sure people know. So this is about the Tim Pool, my appearance on Tim Pool's show. He really was like, they really wanted me to take a personal decision, as if like I was going to come out like, first of all, I did give my personal position, but they wanted me to basically say, I am for abortion, against abortion. I like abortion up to 15 weeks, but I don't know about it after 24 weeks. I don't know about it after. No. I gave them what my moral position is. And on the Majority Report earlier today with Emma, and Matt Leck, I explained it further. Like, my moral position on abortion is that the pregnant person should be able to make that decision. It is her
Oh,
body, and like the idea. What were you gonna say?
oh, sorry, your voice cut out a bit.
Oh no, that's okay. The pregnant woman should make the decision. That's my opinion on it. I don't
Uh,
like, that's my full opinion on it.
yeah. I mean,
I mean, I
it's
guess if you
the
need to
yeah, it's yeah.
hear me
Uh,
say it, it's like,
no,
obviously
no,
I'm
I know,
for
no,
it.
no.
I'm for it.
It makes
I'm for it
I knew
completely.
that, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very logical decision for almost all human beings, but like most of us. But I was like, the debate itself is very boring in terms of because you can
Yeah,
never convince someone who.
I didn't want to do that debate. I was really like,
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, I did it because I was on a show, and I had a feeling we were going to
yeah.
talk about it a little bit because he had that ridiculous viral tweet earlier that day, and I was like, I can't let him just say this ridiculous hypothetical story about a woman
Yeah,
going
he was
to.
just making stuff up.
Yeah, just making stuff. And I was like, we got to talk about it. But I had no idea they were gonna I don't know. I think we talked about it for like 60% of the episode. It was
Yeah.
kind of ridiculous, and about half of that 60%. So 30% of the episode was them trying to think they were gonna like get me to take what they wanted to hear. And again, my moral position is that it's up to the person who's pregnant. Like, everyone has their own specific situation. Who am I or
Yeah.
anyone else to moralize about it? Because every situation's different, and every person has the right to make that choice.
So the overall debate is boring and pedantic. But since you're in America, and right, like there are people from all over the world, so I was just trying to like refine how to talk to someone about like this sort of debate, like someone who, for example, believes the fetus has like is alive or whatever before being born or stuff like that. So
Well,
what
well,
I came up with,
I think like you could tell me in a second. But I just want to say, because
yeah,
maybe I'll give mine first,
yeah,
and you give me yours. I
yeah.
think it depends on who it is. Like, if you're coming from a position where you are like a hardcore evangelical, or like his co-host was, I think he's like a really like hardcore Catholic. I mean, I grew up Catholic. I was very religious when I was little. I was raised Catholic, and which was funny because when Tim asked me what what my background was, and I said I was white. Apparently, a subsection of his live chat got very angry because they don't think I look white. And then some of them dug into my past and found out that I previously mentioned that I was ethnically Jewish. And a few people tweeted or messaged at me saying I was a liar and how dare I call myself white, which is funny and says a lot about that
Yeah,
certain subsection of his audience. I mean, I've joked about it before on this show, how like, I mean, I'm white in the sense of modern day
yeah.
United States. I'm white, but
I
I
mean,
also
yeah,
usually joke and say I'm white, but a white supremacist wouldn't consider me white.
yeah.
But I
It's like
am.
I guess Hassan is like that. Like he's Turkish, so white supremacists wouldn't consider him white, but he's white.
Yeah, like I mean,
Uh,
I mean, his name's Hassan, but he looks like he could easily identify as white. He looks white. I mean, I think he has a background like Turkish background, right? I mean, but
I mean, yeah, if he like was changed his name, not changed his name, like just pretended to be someone else,
right,
no one would like even guess that he was anything but white.
right.
But yeah,
Cameron in the live chat says Matt Binder is non-white passing. I got to tell you, throughout my whole life, people have constantly thought that I was either a Latino. People have thought that I was I'm having a mental block. People thought I was people thought I was Indian, like Indian.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I guess I look like I could be.
yeah.
I've like
Your last name also sounds Indian,
yes, people have thought. Yes,
sort of.
people have thought. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I don't care if you think I doesn't
Yeah,
bother me. I mean,
I mean doesn't
I
matter.
wish I was. It'd be cool, but I'm not. I'm not.
And so yeah, so no, yeah, so I'm specifically talking about like people who say like the mother is different and the child is like it's not a child, it's a fetus. The fetus is different, and they try to more. So I was like, I came up with this like weird hypothetical. I was like, so if I'm about to like die or something, right, and I have this rare disease, and only your blood can cure me, and it has to be hooked up to me all of the time, and they hook you up initially, like or something like you make a choice or something you to give me blood for some time or whatever, is it like unethical for you to cut that cord, like the blood cord, and then let me die? Because ultimately, like even if the fetus was alive or whatever, uh, you can't force someone to sustain another life. So I just say to them, if the fetus can survive outside the womb, fine, whatever. But if it like you can't force the pregnant person to carry the fetus around with them everywhere and support them for 9 months without like constant consent of like they can withhold their consent at any time. Just like if you were like in this weird hypothetical, you could cut the blood cord whenever you wanted. Like you can't force someone to sustain another life.
Right, right. I
What do
mean,
you think of that?
I think if I think it's a good one. I think that's good. I mean, to me, it's a little bit of like the Tim Pool-esque hypothetical. But you know what? If they're already throwing that at you, that could be a good counter. What if I needed your blood 24/7 to live? Would you? And you're the only one who has that specific,
I mean, yeah,
strain I have.
like
Yeah, I like that. That's
a
interesting.
fetus
Yeah.
isn't a living thing. So you like for other people, you can just easily say that fetus isn't a living thing. Uh, the mother can
I
do
mean, but then
whatever.
there's people who argue otherwise. See, it really like it
Yeah,
depends. Like, there's some
yeah, yeah,
people who you should just give up on. Like, you're not going to convince them
yeah,
otherwise, and
yeah,
you
yeah,
just have
exactly.
to realize. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if and then here's the thing too. If you're gonna come up with a specific time frame, like if you're the Tim Pool position where he
Yeah,
said he thought any time after like 15 weeks or something, was
Yeah.
okay, but like nothing. There's nothing. I mean, there's nothing specific that happens at 15 weeks.
That's very arbitrary.
Like,
It's
yeah, it's
very
a
arbitrary.
completely arbitrary
Depends
number.
on each fetus where they are,
Yeah.
all of that stuff, how much they. Yeah, so that's why
But 15
I
weeks.
like I came up
But
with
even
this
on
one.
top of that, though, 15 weeks isn't even like fetal
Yeah,
heartbeat.
yeah,
It comes weeks before that. Viability
yeah,
comes weeks after that.
yeah.
I
So it's
think,
like,
yeah. So I don't think there's anything that happens at that specific time frame.
yeah,
So what's the? You're either. So what is your like? I don't get what the point of that
yeah.
arbitrary number is, right?
Yeah, but that's where like I was like, okay, so even if you give them all of their arguments, like the fetus isn't a live thing, everything's like all of that, even then, abortion still should be the choice of the mother, because the fetus, like it's not like the fetus can survive on their own, or the fetus is giving something to the mother, yeah, or the pregnant person in that sense. So again, like even if the fetus was alive, at any point you can abort, like even if it's 15 weeks, 25 weeks, 8 months, whatever. And after that, if the fetus can survive outside, then sure, have at it. I mean, for a doctor, I guess their job is to try to save every patient. So that's depends on that goes the onus goes to the doctor then, and the pregnant person is like completely different. Like they're far removed from the equation now.
Right.
After that,
Right. So I appreciate the call. You know,
yeah,
I feel like I've talked about this topic so much over the
yeah,
past
okay,
week.
so yeah,
But it is.
you
Listen,
can
it
you
is
can give up.
it is an important
Yeah,
topic. I mean, for me, I just think like they come up with all these hypotheticals, putting 91% of the women who go out and get abortions in territory where they won't be able to, and they're focusing on this like almost nil number. So like, and that's the
yeah,
number they
exactly.
want to focus on. But thanks for the call, Osama. I really
Yeah, of course.
appreciate it. Have a great night.
Okay, have a good one.
Let me go to the phones and here we go. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Cameron Robson from Canada.
Cameron, what have you done differently? You look you look I don't know, you look like Eraserhead-esque. I can't quite
I love racing. I've been doing a lot of car racing in my fancy.
Oh no, I didn't say racing. I said
racer head.
I said eraserhead.
Yeah, and I'm an e-racer head in the sense that I do it online and on the internet. I'm just been. What's probably different is you're noticing I'm in a new fancy. Well, I'm in a different. I went to someplace else. Well, I'll get into that. I'm at the Moscow Detox Hotel.
I'm sorry. What happened?
Oh, I wanted to tell this just to get something straight about me, because I'm worried about the impression that your terrible show has been giving about my company. And you can tell that I'm in this real place, right?
Let me put your place full screen for a second so people could see your beautiful. I mean, it looks kind of small, honestly. Like, I mean, if you were gonna.
Well, your place looks small.
Well,
you look like you're in a fucking green box, man.
I mean,
anyway.
you see the green screen, right? But I'll say, if I was to make a if I was to use a fake like virtual background to pick something really over the top, I think I would have gone a little bit crazier than your very modest choice.
Yeah, if I was to use a fake virtual background, I'd probably go for something over the top too. I don't know what you're talking about. I wanted to call you because of the concerns of my business publicity, in that some people have been talking about in your chat room, I see, with your viewers. My brother has been impersonating me in the chat.
Oh,
which
really?
I read the chat, but I do not engage with it.
So your brother's been Cameron Robson this whole time?
Sorry?
I'm reading. Oh, you're. This is your brother who said this. Then Cameron Robson in the live chat says, "I am a full-blown Tim head after Matt introduced me to the show."
My brother has always. I have never posted in your chat, and my
Oh.
brother does impersonate me, and it's hard to tell because we are both named Cameron.
Right.
We are twins.
How did that happen?
But-
What was your mom thinking when she made that decision?
Huh?
What was your mom thinking when she made that decision?
I was adopted.
Oh, and so wait, but didn't you say you have a brother?
Yeah.
Wait, so you're.
He wasn't adopted.
Okay, so
But
what
we are
happened?
exactly the same age, and we look alike, so people always consider us twins.
Oh, so you
But
just
we
call
were
yourself.
both had the same name, and it was a coincidence.
Oh, okay.
When she adopted me, I already had the name.
Right.
But he's been in the chat for a very long time, and you know, at this point, I don't know if I'm impersonating him or he's impersonating. Have you ever seen the movie Dead Ringers?
I haven't actually.
Oh well, it's about like a couple of like sex offender gynecologists.
Okay.
And anyway, that's basically what our whole thing is about. But I wanted to call about people were saying that I thought that I seemed like I was high on like weed at first.
Oh, this is about when you called in on Tuesday night during my marathon 5-hour show. I forgot
This
to
has
call
been
you.
going on since the first time that I called into the show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The
When you-
moderators have done nothing to stop this slander
Unbelievable.
that I'm high on weed.
Are you?
And then, no, because when I first started hearing that I was supposed to be high on weed, according to these people, I thought that's not a rich man's vice. So I started
so what do you do?
drinking a lot of liquor, like some people in the chat did. To their credit, noticed that I was drinking Budweisers and to appear more rich, and also doing the business powder. And I want everyone to know that my behavior will not affect my crypto mining business. My light is going crazy.
Yeah, I see. It's because you're using the virtual background. It happens with my green screen too. When I go forward like this and put my head down, you see that? Yeah, that's what happens when you're using a virtual background.
Okay. You know, this is all pre-recorded, viewers, and he's editing it to make it seem like I'm on a virtual background.
Right.
I just want to say, well, I'm in the Moscow Detox Hotel. My son, HW, will be maintaining the company.
You have
And I
a
will be
son
working
named
on
HW?
shit with that Tim Pool vitamin powder company. And I'm just going to start snorting that up into my nose instead.
Sounds good. How's the detox center in Moscow? Seems like a weird choice to make during this.
This is what it's like. It's great.
I know, but is it
And-
a weird country to go to right now? No, I mean, are there any hostilities
Super
towards you?
cheap to go get a detox in Moscow now. I carpooled with Jordan Peterson.
Oh, okay. Is he sharing the hotel room with you?
Yeah, well, the weird thing is that he wakes, he lays in bed all night, like with his eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling, like crying, and it's
you
kind
guys-
of annoying. But you get used to it because I have all these visions of flaming skeletons every time I close my eyes.
Do you guys? I hope. I assume. I mean, either way, it's none of my business if you don't want to share. But do you have separate beds, or are you two a thing?
No, detox in Russia is pretty great.
Are you drinking a beer in the detox center?
It's Russia, so beer doesn't count as a. They have more important things to worry about.
Did I just catch a mistake? the Cameron stream here. Was there a accidental?
Oh, it's all canon.
Wait. The beer. I think the easy explanation is that the beer was the green screen thing. That was someone inserted that into the
Yeah,
shot.
and it's messing up my stream, I'm noticing.
Yeah.
Makes it so that things aren't working properly.
I apologize, by the way, on Tuesday when I forgot to call you back to check in on the reading. Did you continue to read that whole? Oh, so you got to Moscow very quickly. It seems. It's like
What?
You got to
Well,
Moscow
like I
very
said, I
quickly.
carpooled, so that saved on time. I don't have the rest of the reading here. I had it somewhere. But I did finish reading it, and it turns out Timpulitarianism is in fact a very fascinating concert, and that you were actually very, very wrong in your denial of
You tell you I don't remember what it was. I done to
step
turn
of concepts.
right.
I still haven't read
Snuffleupagus.
my deontology book,
Yeah,
but I
that one,
did
right.
move all of my knowledge about the concept of ontology, which feels like that's basically deontology.
Right, right. So, what's while you're over there in Moscow, I gotta ask, what's going on with the crypto mine?
Huh?
What's going on?
Whoa, that's cool.
Oh yeah, what's
Well, the
going?
crypto mine is doing fine, as we say,
Mm-hmm.
and we have been having some problems with peggings. There's been a large incident of pegging problems,
Is that what
and
happens in the detox room with Jordan Peterson?
my advisors tell me that the problem isn't that there's not enough pegging going on, it's that the pegging has been stopping. And when the pegging does not continue, then the crypto does not flow like it should be.
Right. Yeah. Stable coins love to get pegged. I mean, they need to. Otherwise, they feel valueless.
I uh, need to go because I'm not
Jordan
supposed to have
Peterson needs
this
to stay
here,
pegged
and
to
they're
the.
coming in for a checkup. But
Have a
isn't
good
that
night,
cool how
Cameron.
strength like that?
Good luck, my friend.
Anyway,
Hope everything is okay. I'll
no,
look out for your evil twin. Have a good night.
I'm down bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. You'll get through this. Oh my God. I love those calls with Cameron. They're so great. Jesus. All right, let's go to the. Oh no. Let's go to the phones again. You are calling. Oh wait, let me just Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello?
Hey.
Oh, you're breaking up. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Uh-oh, am I not coming in?
I hear you now. Yeah, you're not breaking up anymore. Oh, we lost him. We'll take this next call. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, this is Gus from Toronto, the solitary socialist.
Hey, Gus from Toronto. What would you like to talk about? Hello?
You're breaking up
Uh-oh.
badly.
Uh-oh. Do you hear me
I'm
now?
gonna try calling again because you're breaking up very, very badly.
Yeah, let's try this again. Try calling back in again. I hope it's not my connection because my video looks fine. Let's see what I can do. There's nothing on right now that should. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Uh-oh. Hello? Let me try another caller and make sure it's not. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Matt. So my name is, I'm not going to use my full name just for anonymity, but you can call me Kay.
Hey, Kay.
And
Yeah,
I'm in California.
Hey, Kay from California. And you could go by whatever you want. You don't have to tell me your real name. I just, I need a name so I can address, so I know who I'm talking to when I want to address someone. It's just not like, hey, you. You know what I mean?
No. I totally get it. I'm just explaining why I'm not giving my full name.
It's all good.
Anyway, I love that you're doing the show, and I'm familiar with you through MR, which I listen to every day when I'm at work. So I appreciate that you and everything that you and the crew do over there.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. To get the progressive message out. You've really helped me kind of solidify my progressive ideas in the last year and a half that I've finally been clued into you guys. So anyway, so I work for a bank, in California, we're an online bank. I'm not going to give the name again just for my own safety, but you can find out who we are if you Google Trump.org refinance. We are the bank that refinanced did the $100 million refinance for Trump Tower in New York back in March. So if you haven't heard about that, it's a whole thing. It made a lot of news articles. Rolling Stone did a whole thing about it, and none of the news was good. And we were, let's just say, the internal reaction was shock horror. Anyway, I know this is a show about crypto and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not gonna.
You don't have to. You don't have to talk about crypto if you don't want. I mean, I know, but people call in and talk about whatever they want. So if there's something else you want to talk about, feel free. Please don't feel stuck having to talk about crypto unless you want to.
No, because I have something very specific, and it's related to what I do. Anyway, I work in the mortgage area, so I do a lot of houses, condos, refinances, new mortgages, stuff like that. So we had a borrower come in, and it was 7 figures. It was very high 7 figures, and it was for a place off of Park Avenue. And
is it that the pencil building, the one that's really thin and goes all the way up to
no, I don't.
It sways in the wind.
No, I don't think it was that one, but I have heard about that one, and that place sounds like an absolute nightmare, and a place that I would never even want to step foot into.
Right.
But so this guy decided he was going to bring in at least 2/3 of his cash to close, and we're talking somewhere around $4 million, and he tried to pay it in crypto.
Like straight to the bank? Like he wanted to give you guys the crypto, like straight up transfer the crypto to the bank?
So he settled it with another bank, and then was trying to give us the proceeds from the sale of the crypto, but it just I'm on here, and I'm begging anyone who is listening right now, please do not try to pay your mortgage closing costs with crypto. It will take us several extra weeks just to try to get it done, because we have to wait for it to settle. And as we all know, when you try to sell crypto, it doesn't always settle for the price that you necessarily sold it for, because it takes so long. So please do not do it. I am absolutely begging you.
Was it hard? Are you saying that because it ended up fucking that person over, or it made your job harder? Or when I say I mean the bank as a whole, not just specifically you.
Yeah, I mean it makes our job harder because it does cause extra delays, and it does cause extra costs. Now, for this particular guy, he a few extra $100 or whatever it wound up being is no skin off of his back, because we're talking about millions and millions of dollars that this person has in terms of assets. So
can you share which cryptocurrency he paid in?
I don't know.
Okay.
All I know is I was told by the
bank accepts it. The bank was fine with it. They didn't say no. You need to bring us cash money, fiat currency.
Well, like I said, he settled the sale of the crypto through another bank, and then was giving us the proceeds of that sale. So by the time we received it, technically it's coming from a real bank account.
Okay. But
it's just the fact that he had to go through that sale, and it took a couple of extra weeks. So it's just it causes, like I said, it just causes more delays, because we have to wait for, especially a transaction of that size, it's going to take forever to settle. Right. But yes, I was very surprised that even though it was coming from, but by the time it was settled, it was coming from a legit bank account, that he was still trying to do all of that, and it was really, really irritating. And it I already wasn't a huge fan of crypto. Now, full disclosure, I do have a few shares of Dogecoin, but that's really more of just like a joke buy. And if I lose out on that, it's no big deal. I don't care.
Wow, I can't believe you have 32 cents. How dare you?
I have a lot less than that. I mean, like 150 shares or something like that. I bought it a year ago when it was going up, just as a joke. And I really don't actually have any faith in it at all. But it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, okay, I've got a couple of shares, but it's not something that I build my life around, or build my entire savings around, or anything like that. But it's not. I understand the harm that it causes, and all that kind of stuff, especially environmentally. I'm fully aware of that. Long-term environmental impacts, and all of the unregulated stuff. I hear about.
Don't worry about like your little don't worry about your little bit of Dogecoin holdings being you're fine. So a lesson for all the crypto millionaires in my audience: don't buy your Park Avenue apartment with crypto.
Or I mean, it's not just the millionaires. It's anybody who thinks that they have enough crypto to buy a house. No, I understand. I understand what you're saying, but just anybody who thinks they have enough crypto to buy a house, please don't use that crypto to buy a house. It really pisses all of us off when you try to do that.
I don't understand why you just wouldn't. In my opinion, there's two things to. If you have that much money in crypto right now, and you made that much off of it, I would have been selling, and selling for real money to put in the bank account. But then B, I guess if you really think it's gonna go back up or get higher, you'd hold it. I don't know why you would use it to the way directly the way you mentioned. It seems.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm guessing this person must have a lot.
I wish if he was going to do it, he would have, sold it off sooner, instead of waiting until the last minute to start the transaction and then realizing, oh, we have to now push the closing off for however many weeks, until we can get all of this money settled. And it was just a whole thing.
Right. Well, thanks for the call, Kate. Interesting to have this little bit of background. And was there anything else, or that was the story you wanted to share?
No, that was really the reason I was calling, and just to say thank you, and to say good job with Tim Pool. And I'm not going to drag out a whole conversation on that. I'm sure you're getting tired of talking about it, so I won't drag you into a conversation about that. But good job, and thank you for all the work you do. And I'm going to go ahead and go offline and let you continue with your show.
All right, thank you. Have a great night.
You too.
All right, let's go to this next call. It just hung up again. Oh, something's going on with Skype tonight, I think. Something's going on with Skype. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Hopefully this works.
Is this Matt?
This is Matt. Is this who?
This is Zach from East Tennessee. I hope you have the purse capacity to have a loquacious and possibly vehement discussion with me for a small duration of time.
Yeah, I should. Go ahead.
You think so?
Yeah, I think I have the I can't even remember the word, perspicacity.
Purse capacity.
Purse capacity.
Yeah.
I'm perspirating, buddy. Give it to me. I'm perspirating.
It can having a good amount of purse capacity can bring on perspiration, but it takes a special kind of guy to.
Oh, hello. Oh my God! Something is going on with Skype. I might have to.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
You just cut out completely. You're back. Hello, you there, Zach? I lost him.
Anyways, I wanted to.
Hello, Zach. You hear me? Zach, you hear me?
Yeah, dude.
You completely
Can
broke.
You not hear me?
Yeah, you completely broke up. But I hear you now. You want to just repeat what you said after our little perspicacity back and forth?
Well, I just.
Something's gone with Skype. I had to hang up. I don't know what's going on because the call with Kay was fine. Maybe Skype is having a problem with certain areas or people calling in from certain places. I don't know. My connection is fine. If it was my connection, you would see my feed getting all fucked up too. Let's try again. Hey, is this Zach?
Hey, dude, you can pull me up on the feed.
Hey, you're sounding loud and clear now. Did you change your device or something?
Yeah, I did some stuff.
Okay, so it wasn't Skype or me. Okay, good. What would you like to talk about then? Oh, no, I lost you again. Yeah. It must be on your end. You must have bad connection. Yeah, you must have bad connection today. I'm sorry,
I'm
buddy.
having I'm having Bluetooth. I was on the Bluetooth. I apologize. Can you hear me, dude?
I can. Yeah, I can hear you. Can't you see your video anymore? But go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to talk to you.
No, it just went out again. I think it reconnected to your Bluetooth. I can't hear you anymore, buddy. Try putting down the Bluetooth completely. I'm gonna take another call, and then if you call back, just use the Don't worry about how the sound quality sounds. Just use the phone speaker, and don't worry about holding it in front of you. Just put it to your phone, your ear, so I can hear you, and you could hear me. Something's going on with that. All right, let's go to see, this is. I gotta get a better phone system, but also Skype calls are so clear and they work so well. A number of people tried to call in and lost them all. Okay, I now I really can't tell what's going on here. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good evening, Matt. It's Grimlock from Cyberpunk.
Hey, Grim, how are you? What would you like to talk about?
Well, I guess I do Kay the favor and continue talking about Tim Pool for starters.
Okay, let's do it. I didn't hear from you on Tuesday night, right? So I'm interested.
Well, I tried to call in. And
there was a lot of callers that night.
Wanted to was having a rough day, so I wanted to console them.
All right, makes sense.
Yeah, that was a higher priority.
Of course.
So for one thing, there was something around when you and Tim were arguing about trans issues, where like you know as well as I know that it's all just theater going in there, and they have their angle and you have yours, and all you can really do is try to present yourself as reasonably as possible, because you both disagree so completely on prior concepts and convictions that you just can't have a reasonable argument and debate.
Sure.
And I'm of the opinion you can't have a reasonable argument and debate unless you largely already agree on your priors. So personally, I would have just gone out and just a liar and a bigot, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at some point I could have done that. I mean, no, I see what you're saying.
That's me.
My strategy was very simple. Go in there and reach that specific subsection of his audience that may not be full-blown conservative or right-wing, maybe young and not, have leftist views and listen to his show and believe him when he says that he has those views, or maybe even center left leaning, or maybe even just more even maybe someone who's moderate but doesn't really is confused which way they have, some positions on the left, some positions on the right. There are people like that there, and they usually are sort of apolitical, and they usually find maybe there are one or two shows who they think is bringing them the news, and I think he has a portion of that audience because of what he bills himself as. And so my point was to go in there and reach those people. I don't care about the Tim Pool audience who's super hardcore conservative that thinks that he destroyed me or I got owned. That's obviously going to happen. I don't care. I mean, there's also left-wingers who say that I owned him and destroyed him. I mean, that stuff, though, I mean, it's fun to do that stuff, but I don't care about that stuff. I don't care about the right-wingers who are DMing me and leaving nasty comments on the photos of my children on Instagram. I could care. Yeah, I could care less. Those are the people I wanted to reach, and judging by who reached out to me, I reached them. Now, that doesn't mean they're all turning around and not going to listen to Tim anymore. There was a caller specifically on Tuesday night who really liked what I had to say, but said he was still going to be listening to Tim. That's fine. No one should be doing a reversal like that. That's not normal. I mean, you shouldn't be just hearing one person and they just immediately run to one side, hear another person and they just run to the other side and just go back and forth. No. You don't. I don't want people to do that. But if people listen to me now, or listen to other left-wing channels now, or just at least consider, hey, maybe Tim is getting further and further right as time goes on, and maybe he doesn't represent my views fully anymore, then that was enough for me. And who knows, maybe down the road, as they continue to listen to more content, or listen to or catch Tim going further and further right, maybe they'll recalibrate and decide, you know what, that's not for me. And that's to me mission accomplished. If just one person has that seed planted in them, that I got to listen to something else.
Yeah, the people who are not consciously ideological, who do not have already staked out political views. Now, there are, as you said, there really are people, and this goes back to sort of the doorknobs and further sort of individuals, the gray zoners. And there's some people who really are just extremists, and they will vacillate from one side to another. And
I think. Listen, I think the way those certain people have gone so far right. I'm sorry, there's no coming back later down the road if the right wing stuff dries up for them. I don't. They would have to do some really. Put in some real hard work to turn around. I mean, I don't think any of them are going to even attempt that. But yeah,
I haven't gone through that. But Emmy Bevancy, I haven't finished, started reading it. Emmy Bevancy shared a piece from Shane Burley. Can't remember where he published it, but it was about, I think the title literally was, "Can you ever trust a former white nationalist?" And I forgot who. There was some lady at Breitbart who was like, who divulged a large cache of information to SPLC a few years ago.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Right. I tried to get her on Doomed, and I was talking with her on email for a little bit, and it just fell apart. I don't know what happened. I think she got nervous, or it was like,
Yeah, I don't know what the whole story is, but I mean, it is very hard to leave those groups. I mean, and of course the article covered up, it presented that it was going to cover like, I can't think of the guy's name who runs Life After Hate, or maybe not runs, but is like the sort of like spokesperson for that, or like.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, his last name starts with a P or something. I know exactly what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. But yeah, like there's, I mean, like people like the gray zone who are just straight out foreign agents for Assad, Putin, other people. No, there's no redemption.
I will say Ben Norden left them. I do.
Ben Norden left them for a group called Multipolarista, which is the name for Alexander Dugin's fourth political theory.
Is that? Whoa, I didn't know that part. I mean, I know he left for another outlet that was, but
that's what he didn't.
Ben Norden though was always didn't make sense why he was there to me.
Among them, he was more moderate, but even then, he like still would make bizarre deviations to defend like Modi and other shit. I mean, I used to like him.
He did leave though because of Max Blumenthal's anti-vaxxer turn. So I mean, that's
good.
Yeah,
that's good for him. But like, I again, like, redemption isn't immediate.
Right.
It takes work.
Right. I think he's, we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, also this is kind of diverging again from the Tim Pool thing. Anyway, there were two other things I thought were interesting. One, a very minor thing, was that when you mentioned QAnon, that guy Fucktunes, which is what Zoe and I have agreed to call him, he immediately snapped at you and said Russiagate, as if there's even remotely a comparison between QAnon and Russiagate.
I mean, there was a whole investigation into it, and I know, they think this too. The investigation just proved that they couldn't. The investigation just found that they couldn't prove what they set out to prove. It didn't say that.
But that's not even the way that I'm thinking about that.
You go ahead then.
What truth to QAnon, truth to Russiagate? Think about how it's. Think about the effect it has in the popular culture.
Right.
There aren't people shooting up places, committing acts of anti-Semitic violence. Oh shit, that reminds me of something else. Committing acts of anti-Semitic violence because they believed in Russiagate. Now, I do think there probably was some uncalled for Russophobia as a part of that, just like there's a lot of rampant xenophobia again in this country. And that's, not helpful. Calling Russians orcs isn't going to really help things, but at the same time also condemning the government and people in both media and power there who are still acquiescing to what's happening isn't very helpful. But no, there's just no comparison that Russiagate inspires people to commit violence and perpetuates paranoia across the country in the same way that QAnon exists. And the only reason QAnon exists is because there are credible accusations that Donald Trump is a pedophile who raped children with Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
That's the only reason QAnon exists. It has always been a diversion from the reality that the former president was a massive pedophile.
Allegedly.
And it used blood libel, which of course these people already love, to do that. It is amazing how, like, when you boil it all the way down, it's a very simple thing. But that did remind me, thinking about anti-Semitism, an angle of this that I was reminded of when I saw some tweet by some rabbi. Actually, the weekend before the decision by Alito was leaked, there was a rabbi who posted about how the Torah says that we should prioritize the life of pregnant people.
All right.
Because of course,
that's their religion. Yes, that's their yes.
Yeah. I mean, when we think,
I've heard that people are, I've heard things about, like, are there going to be someone who takes that case up? Like, someone sues because it's religious, against their religion, to deny them the ability to get an abortion.
Yeah.
Which would be an interesting, someone should do that. Someone should definitely.
He did. I think there was in Oklahoma that he's taken that to the Oklahoma court. But no, I mean, it's very, very obvious wisdom that, like, there's a real life there that is already viable, that is alive. And, obviously, like, what also gets caught up in this abortion debate is also women who miscarry. And you can miscarry very late into your pregnancy.
Oh, yeah. And there are women who need to get the abortion procedure to remove the already deceased fetus, because it doesn't, it doesn't, come out on its own sometimes, unfortunately. And this would these laws already in place, and then the laws that'll come down the pike when or if Roe v. Wade is overturned, it's gonna hurt those people. It's gonna hurt those women, and it's a lot of them. That's pretty common in terms of the amount of people who have to get that procedure in the overall of all people who experience that.
Yeah, it's it's of course the height of disrespect, because the whole point of it is to control people's bodies, to create more meat for the war machine. They have no desire to support these people after birth. It's all about control.
Yeah.
The last thing, though, that I thought was very interesting was just like, because again, like the sort of like faux debate where you don't even really have access to resources and you're just going back and forth, whatever. It's not even because you don't have the grounds with which to have any sort of ambiguity, nuance. It's just bad performance art.
Also, I usually am fine with going in. I'm usually fine going in, and that's how I usually do these things. I go in. I don't necessarily like if they want to, if the other person wants to bring topics that we stick on, that's fine. But I usually don't require them. I don't say I need them. But the way they run their show, they're just all over the place, and like there's topics that I guess if I go back on, I'm gonna request at least like, listen, let's at least, and you could pick them too. I'm not saying I'm gonna just let me know like 3 or 4 topics we're gonna stick to, and that way I can come in with the data that you guys have when you're doing the show. Do you know what I mean? Like, otherwise, I mean, it's doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it reminded me of like, I didn't stick with it very long, but I did while I was in high school visit my debate club. And I was like, this is just not for me. But at least then you provided, there's a semblance of giving each side the opportunity to actually like do research and stuff. And like, again, the theater of it is I think designed to make you seem like you don't know what you're talking about. Not that, of course, I'm not saying that you do. I'm just saying that's sort of the theater of it. But again, thinking about theater, like in reading people's body language, I could not be more turned off by, or just generally disgusted by Tim and Fucktunes. I mean, they looked to me like they wanted to just leap out of, especially that guy Fucktunes wanted to just leap out of his seat and like start beating you up to defend all those poor aborted children's lives. Which also, if I be frank, my mother had an abortion before she had me and my little sister. She would have lived a totally different life had she done that. So, I mean, again, when people talk about abortions as if people who aren't already mothers will become fathers, or who aren't already fathers, or people, whoever, pregnant parents, no matter their gender, could not have already had an abortion or will not have one because they just decide they either aren't ready for kids, and they might later, or they aren't ready for more kids.
Yeah.
So, again, you can't have an honest debate about these things because they just want to have their little virtue signal and show, I'm tough and angry and I want to intimidate this guy who, actually exists in the real world, as opposed to their sort of Christian fascist fantasy world that they want other people to produce for them, but which they have no desire of actually doing. Because they're not going to go out and go hang people from telephone poles, no matter how much they turn people on to the Turner Diaries or whatever else their side are reading these days. But yeah, no, they have no desire to really understand why people. I guess, yeah, the last thing that really did piss me off is that they kept that guy Fucktunes kept saying, all these women. I was so galled when I heard his name is Freedom Tunes. Like, fuck you, fuck off. You're gonna hollow out the concept of freedom some more. Anyway, when he was saying, all these women were just depressed, so they aborted their children. You know what? It's really fucking depressing when you have an unwanted child, especially if you say were raped. Perhaps you've been raped by a family member after you were, put in foster care maybe, and you were sex trafficked.
Right. I talked about. I brought up some of the foster care and orphan stats. It's actually a lot worse than I even could have thought.
Yeah.
It's
really.
No,
I saw that.
I didn't realize. I honestly, I mean, I guess you could be able to realize it. It makes sense, but it never occurred to me just how many kids actually just age out of foster care and then just are left like fending for themselves with nothing. It's pretty depressing and crazy.
Yep. I mean, that's also why I, we're not even really focusing on it as much anymore. But of course, there were reports of, I think it was hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian children being moved around Russia. And I think I mentioned that before. These Save the Children motherfuckers should be thinking about those kids.
Yeah.
And thinking about that genocide that's happening. Because that's what that is. It's genocide. When you take people's children and you tear them from their identity, that's a genocide.
Grim, thank you for the call. Have a great night, my friend.
You too. Be well.
Let's see. How long has this been going on? Because I gave you guys 5.5 hours on on Tuesday night. So I'm thinking not a short show. Just I'm gonna stick to the normal. We'll go for about another maybe like 30, 40 minutes. A normal sized post show. Let me take this call. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello. I can hear you. You're on the air.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name's Aaron. I'm calling from Wichita, Kansas.
Hey,
how are you, Matt?
I'm doing good, Aaron. Can I pull you? I see you're using video. Can I pull you up on the feed?
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Cool. So what did you talk about, Aaron?
I just, I don't know if you're from New York, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any listeners in Kansas or not, or if any of your listeners know people in Kansas. I just kind of wanted to get the message out there that there's a big vote August 2nd, and we need people to vote no, because if the yes wins, then we become Texas and Oklahoma. And it's really depressing to think about that possibility, considering that we had a abortion doctor that was pretty famous here at one point, Dr. George Tiller, and he was murdered in church in 2009. And it's just, I don't know. Everything's just so grim when I watch listen to the news and everything.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I don't know
what's the details of the bill.
I was gonna say that, but also, but you can give you a little bit more details. But also, I'm assuming it's gonna outright completely. Well, I guess.
Yeah.
Texas right now is a 6-week abortion's banned after 6 weeks. But I'm guessing what you're also saying is that if Roe v. Wade is overturned, this bill is going to also have one of those 30-day delays that kick in, and abortion is completely outlawed.
Yeah, it's not. I don't believe it's like a 6-week rule or anything. I think the wording I've seen is it takes away the federal government's right to fund abortion or something like that. The
government already doesn't fund abortion. I don't know. So I don't think that's.
Yeah, I wish I had a computer.
That might be
a
Republicans' bullshit. Yeah. What's it look? How are the politics in Texas? Kansas, when it comes to I mean, I know it's a red state, but some of these states have little bursts of blue when it comes to certain issues.
Yeah, well, we have Wichita is the biggest city. That's where I live. So usually blue things will pass there, but there's still quite a bit of red people here. But then we have the Kansas side of Kansas City, and then Lawrence, Kansas, where the University of Kansas is at. That's usually, if we have any hope for anything, it's from those three areas. So,
all right. And how's it looking for this bill, by the way? Has anyone done any polling around it?
Well, that's kind of why I'm calling, because I don't really know. My kid, not by my choice, goes to Catholic school, and that's how I found out about the bill, because I take her to school and I pick her up and I start seeing all these signs, and the way they're framing it is it's the slogan is value them both, as in the mother and the baby. And then and I was like, this seems fishy, and I Googled it and I was like, oh yeah, they're trying to get rid of abortions in Kansas. So, yeah.
I thank you for calling in and giving people an update. I don't know. Yeah. I'm sure there's got to be at least a few people listening from Kansas.
I also wanted to.
I got people calling in from like Australia and shit. So I mean, if we got Australian listeners and not anyone from Kansas, I'm gonna question that. But no, go ahead. What was the other thing you wanted to talk about?
I just kind of wanted to thank you and guys like Sam Cedar and all of them, Michael Brooks, rest in peace, because I was never a conservative, but like I was like a big Rogan dude at one point and stuff, and then I started listening to Majority Report, and like I loved everything that they were, because they aligned with my views. But then I'd see the clips of like them like kind of dunking on Rogan or critiquing him or whatever, and then I'd just be like, man, fuck those guys, but they don't know. But then I don't know, I guess just slowly over time, it's just the value of you guys is pretty understated, I think. And,
I really appreciate that. But listen, Rogan wasn't always this bad.
No, he wasn't.
Michael Brooks was a fan of Rogan. He wouldn't like defend him, but he would put it out there that like, Joe Rogan's just a guy. He runs a show that's like just a show for guys. He's a comedian who's good at what he does. And he's got an audience that's ripe to push our politics towards, to see if any of them wanna are interested in it. That's changed.
Right.
I mean, the greatest barometer for that is go to the Joe Rogan subreddit on Reddit. All these people who are part of the Joe Rogan subreddit, who were fans of his, that subreddit is now like a community for former Rogan fans who just like knock his current output.
Yeah. It seems that his real shift happened. I mean, he was kind of getting that way before, but when he moved to Texas and it just seemed like it was just like that. And I mean, it could be a multitude of things, but a big theory of mine is that he is friends with Alex Jones, so he probably just hangs out with him more now because he's in the same town as him. I don't know, but I used to be a conspiracy theorist a long time ago, and when I was 18, so that would have been, I'm 30 now, so 12 years ago. But then my brain developed, so I don't know why people stick with that stuff, but but yeah.
It's bizarre that when Alex Jones was just Mr. Conspiracy Theorist, even when he was doing his craziest conspiracies about like, whatever,
Bohemian Grove,
like random, like stuff like that. Then like whatever, like okay, but like I don't see how someone, even like a parent like Joe Rogan, isn't completely turned off by that Sandy Hook shit. I'm sorry, that was like a step way too far. Yeah, I mean that to me is like automatic.
When I stopped.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's when I stopped listening. No, I'm sorry if I cut you off. I'm sorry. I was not like Jesse Ventura was more my guy when I was like the conspiracy theorist, but I really stopped messing with Alex Jones when the Sandy Hook thing happened, when he had the nerve to be like, I never said that. It's like, dude, I watched a 30-minute video of you saying that it was not real. What are you talking about? Yeah.
Right. I mean, if he was really apologetic and worried about what his viewers were doing to these poor parents who lost their children, he could have easily nipped this in the bud and came out and been really like, I mean, it still would have been on him. He still would have fucked up big time, but at least there would have been but of course that would ruin his whole image, right? So he wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
No respect at all for anyone who does that. And then is friends with the guy, or is friendly towards the guy, or thinks he's just still like a funny, go-lucky weirdo.
He's misunderstood.
I'm sorry. No. I mean, he knew He knew exactly what he was doing, and the deposition videos, if you look, I mean, can't pull the mask off any further than tells you exactly that this guy knows it's all he's putting on an act. And that makes it even worse to me. Like, if this was really a crazy guy, what can you expect from him? He needs mental health.
Yeah, but then it's a mental health issue, right?
But no, he puts on an act. This is all a show for him. One of his acts ended up harassing the parents of children who were murdered in a mass shooting. Literally children, not even high school students, and that's not any better, obviously. But we're talking kindergartners here. No life lived whatsoever yet. And probably didn't even understand what was going on when they were huddling in their closets, fearing for their lives.
No, yeah.
And this guy is purposefully doing this for his entertainment show, and then after realizing what happened, he continued to try to entertain and not rip the mask off and say, fuck it, I got to nip this in the bud and let my idiot viewers know to stop this. I mean, no respect at all.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. And it's like kind of weird, like when Trump won and everything, and I noticed that the conspiracy people were super into him. It kind of offended me as a former conspiracy theorist, because like to me, like when I was into conspiracy, it was like fuck everybody that ran in politics, not like of course, like why would you cheer? I don't know. But thanks for taking my call, man.
Again, people vote no on what is it called again?
God dang it! I wish I could hear. It's the Kansas bill. It's on August 2nd. The slogan is "Value them both." I wish I should have called more prepared. I've never.
Oh
called
my
into one of
God!
these
You
shows,
should have
so
told me
sorry
that to
about
be value them both. Wow.
Yeah. That's
It's not. It's not. To be completely clear, it's not. How is it valuing?
No, not at all.
How is it valuing the woman in the scenario, the pregnant person? How is it valuing them?
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Oh my God! Value
good night,
them
man.
both. I'm like throwing up in my mouth right now. Have a great
For real.
night.
You too,
Value
man.
them
Later.
both. Oh my God. Oh my God. Christ. I gotta value them both. It's the value them both amendment. Oh my God. The no right to abortion in Constitution Amendment, otherwise known as the value them both amendment. I'm gagging. Hey, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Matt. Tony from Texas.
Hey, Tony. What's up? Well, what is on the screen here? What am I looking at?
Everybody's been doing their call-in work while working on stuff, and I was working on a little homage to one of my favorite podcast hosts here.
Is that me?
As you.
Does it look anything like? It's very cool, but does it look anything like me?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a work in progress. I just started it whenever
it actually looks a little bit like David Dole just took over Scam Economy. David Dole of the Rational National. No, it's cool though. That 3D thing is cool. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
So,
whoa, that's really cool. Whoa.
It's something I've just kind of like been goofing off on like this evening while listening to the show.
Wow.
So, Kowalski calls in from the back of his tractor, and I haven't called in from my virtual creation in a while, so I thought I'd do my little work-in call.
That's really cool. I like that. That's really cool. That's awesome. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, Tony created the awesome Scam Economy 3D intro. Really amazing. I love it so much. Every time the intro plays, I'm like, damn, this video like makes this show like it just kicks it up a notch. People know they're getting high quality when you got an intro like that.
Well, thank you. If anybody else is interested in any of that, hit me up on Instagram.
Oh my God,
Crunchy Studio.
You're gonna enjoy this, Tony. ADubs808 in the live chat just said Matt Blender.
Just said what?
Matt Blender.
Oh yes, it's all in Blender.
No, but
good call, good
no,
eye.
but calling me Matt Blender because you're making me
Matt Blender
in Blender. Like that's Matt Blender in there. I know what program you're using. I know what program people use to make these things. I thought you would enjoy that.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I've got Skype up on one screen and that going on the other, so chat was hidden from me.
Right.
But
so we had
thank you.
We have Kowalski usually calling in on the farm. We had that caller on Tuesday night calling in from his beer making factory, and now we got Tony with a night at the desk, creating some 3D images, 3D renders on Blender. 3D render of Matt Bender on Blender. There we go. Have a great night, Tony. Thank you so much. That's awesome. I look forward to seeing the final product.
Yeah, check your DMs on Discord.
All right, we'll do
Later.
it. Bye. That's cool. I just had to crack the little joke about how it didn't look exactly like me. It has my basics. Joe says brewery is the word. Yes, I guess. I don't know anything about alcohol, so I wasn't sure if that was correct for the place he was making his alcohol. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello, you are on the air.
Hey, this is Gus from Toronto. I tried to call earlier, but there seemed to be problems with the connection.
Don't worry, it sounds like it's working now. So what's up, Gus from Toronto? What would you like to talk about?
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello? Do you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, are you listening to the Skype and not the live stream? Make sure you're listening just to Skype. Turn the live stream down in case it's still up.
No. I am on the phone. I am on the phone, and the connection is not good. So
Okay.
I think I'm gonna save this one for the next post game.
Okay, I hear you good right now. If you want to continue, if you do hear me, you sound
Yeah,
good
but
now.
there's a lot of delay, and it makes the conversation very awkward.
Okay, so call in next time. I look forward to the call.
I'll save my points for next time.
Sounds good. Have a great night.
Take care.
Bye. All right. I'll take, what time is it? We'll maybe do another 20 minutes. Do another 20 minutes here. There was 4 people calling in at the same time, and here we go. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, Kowalski at the gym.
Not from the tractor this time. No, I needed to fix my back stump.
Okay, how you doing?
Is my audio okay? I'm using that Bluetooth.
It sounds fine. It sounds good.
Awesome. So I just wanted to give you huge props for your Tim Pool discussion. I wouldn't really consider it a debate. I mean, as far as tactics go, it's kind of like you just pushed them. And there really wasn't much said that I think would have been considered like intelligent. So from that standpoint, excuse me, a little winded. I don't think you could have possibly lost any viewership, and their way Tim could have held his entire audience. I would just chalk this up as a total win for yourself.
Oh, I thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't think anyone who has our politics listened to that and was like, oh, I don't believe this anymore. But there's a good chance. I mean, I know from the calls that at least one person was like, hey, wait a minute, who's usually listening to his show.
The caller you got 2 nights ago, the fact you could not explain modern monetary theory to a person in less than 2 minutes. I mean, come on, man, you got to study up on that stuff. You have to know every subject that anybody could possibly know. Like, for instance, anybody in the audience, yours or Tim's, doesn't know how to grow food, stop eating it.
Right.
You don't know.
Right.
You're not qualified to eat that food. You don't know what it takes. So stop.
Right. Right.
That would be pretty unhinged.
Right.
But
well, I think I pointed out to him. I let him pick whatever he wanted to do, and he said he wanted to release all non-violent drug offenders from prison. And I asked him, okay, explain how we keep them out of prison. Like, what policies would you put forth, and what would you do to make sure that they get out of jail and get jobs and have housing? And he said, I don't give a shit about that. Well, why don't you give a shit about that? Because I don't know what to do. I wouldn't know. He didn't care. He didn't think it was the necessary step. Oh, okay. I mean,
and when he asked you a question, you responded with an author, a basic outline of it, and something that you should keep in your back pocket if this person ever comes back up again. Name any non-fiat currency that hasn't failed. The British Empire literally had to conquer India to get enough gold to sustain the pound being backed by gold. And it wasn't enough. At the end of World War II, the United States had pretty much the entirety of the planet's gold supplies, even a bunch of the Soviet supplies. It wasn't enough to sustain our own economy. It literally was not enough gold to back the currency we needed just for the economy to function bare minimum. It's one of the reasons why farmers in the late early 1900s and supporting I think it was William Bryan and Eugene Debs. They both wanted silverback currency as a means to expand what you could back a currency by to literally get more cash, because it was causing an basically deflation, which is a disaster. So like fiat currency is a new thing, but it hasn't failed yet. And everything that is non-fiat has at one point or another. So even from that metric, like modern monetary, maybe it won't work, but the previous system didn't. And we've only seen better things ever since we got off of it.
Right.
Also, I'm not going to belabor the the pro-life and pro-choice stuff that you guys were all talking about, because I feel like that's been done to death. But when you guys were talking about like the white kids going off into their room or whatever to discuss that, first off, you are correct. Teenagers will only talk about like current events. They're not going to be discussing anything like, oh, what do you guys think David Duke would be wanting us to do right now? That ain't going to be the case. No, they're going to be talking sports or anime or, you know, who's dating who. But one thing that I think is really good for the topic is to know the difference between whiteness as a like class and just white people. So you and I are technically white. I assume you're Prussian and whatever.
Right. When I mentioned it on the show, they got really angry that I was white. Yes, they thought, because I got, you know, they found out I got a little bit of Jew in me, and apparently that made them very angry that I called myself white.
Interestingly enough, if it was 1776, I would not be white. I am mostly German.
Right.
Therefore, I'm part of one of those like Mongoloid creatures of the continent. You know, not actually white. But if you go off my surname, Polish, then by the 1920s, then I'm white because it was bestowed upon the Poles after the 1920s. Prior to that, you were just a Slavic Mongoloid, and you were not white.
Right.
So the classification of whiteness is just a social construct. It has expanded over time, and I have no doubt in 20 years, if we haven't gotten rid of it, all Latin people will be considered white as well.
Right. I'm a dirty Italian too, so that's part of it too. That probably is where my olive skin tone comes from.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Nice.
talk about not always being seen as white. I mean, they definitely are now. Let's be 100% clear. But, you know, back in the, you know, when they were immigrating here, they certainly weren't.
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure, you know, the Catholicness didn't play into that at all. But, you know, I'm really glad we didn't have to break out SEAL Team Cedar to come rescue you from the compound. We did have the crew ready.
I do want to make it clear they were very nice and accommodating, and I mean they got me down there. They paid for a hotel room. Very nice people. When I was in there, Tim opened. It's his home. He opened his home to me in terms of letting me in. You know, offered me drinks and food or whatever. So as people, you know, they were very nice. When it came down to do the show, that's where the full-on disagreement is, and, you know, who they are, it comes out with their politics. So, you know, it is two different things. And, you know, I want to make it clear that, you know, but that, you know, that also should make clear that, you know, good people can also have very horrible politics that sort of makes it seem like you can't really call them good. Do you know what I mean? Like,
like
well-meaning,
just a third
nice
of everyone's grandparents, but
yeah,
you know, bit of a generational thing. I'll leave you to the other callers. I'm sure there's going to be quite a bit. And yeah, it was good. I really did enjoy it, and I do hope you can go back, and maybe Tim will have the courage to bring Cedar on. That would be an amazing discussion. But you have a good night.
All right, have a good night. Always a pleasure when Kowalski calls in. No farm tonight, though. That's too bad. Let's go to what's this? Let's go to Zero says bad politics means bad person. I believe that. Oh yeah, I'm not saying. I want to make it clear if I didn't make it clear there. You know, niceties person to person is nice, but your politics, especially if you have power to do something, makes you not such a nice person. I want to make that clear. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, you're on mute or something. I'm not hearing you. I'm sorry. All right, you want to call me back? Yeah, call me back. I'll take your call. Give me 1 second here. I just lost everybody. I just lost everybody. Creative Conversation says, so anyone that disagrees with you is a bad person. Got it. No, I didn't say that. I literally just said it. They were very nice to me. So, no. But I'm saying you got to take both together. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hello, who's this?
This is Susan from Nashville.
Hey, Susan, what's up? What do we get to talk about?
Yes, I'm sorry, I have the thing on in the other room, so I need to walk away from that. So I've called in before. This isn't a crypto thing, if that's okay.
That's fine, yeah.
I was getting really triggered during Tim Pool's talk with you about abortion because of how, like, I couldn't even watch the whole thing. It was so annoying to me. Just how a lot of people, I feel like, develop opinions about abortion without really knowing any of the consequences, right? So try to talk about abortion from the standpoint of absolutely insane scenarios happening in the 8th or 9th month of
Yeah, I mean, I constantly would say you're talking about these edge cases. You're talking about these small percentage of cases. Like that's what they want to focus on. And I said that to him too. I said if you're you say you're pro-choice up to like the end of the first trimester or whatever he said it was for him, or the beginning of the second, like the few weeks into the second, whatever he said it was, and that's where 92% of abortions happen. Then why are you focusing on? Like, why is your show only talking about this other, like, 1%? Because I want to make it clear, too, the 8%, there's 91% in the first trimester, something like 8% in the second, and 1% in the, or something around that in the third. And they only focus on that 1%. And it's like, why, if you're anti-choice, I get why you'd focus on that percent. Of course, it's easy argument for you. It's what you're going to focus on, so you can appeal to people's emotions. But if you're pro-choice, why are you focusing on that? Like, why is that your focus? Even if you have an issue with it, if you're pro-choice, you can advocate for pro-choice values, and then just like, if it comes up or if you have an opportunity, you could then focus on that little percentage that bothers you. But to do your show every day and constantly bring up just that small percentage, I don't see how you call yourself pro-choice.
From a numbers standpoint, aren't there fewer than 10 doctors who even do abortions that late?
It's very,
which is
yes.
problem, which is a problem in itself because, like, if you need an abortion like that, you have to, like, fly to Colorado, and just the procedure itself costs like $20,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you're not going there and being like, should I wait to give birth to this completely healthy, normal baby, or should I pay $20,000 now, 4 months before it's coming out anyway?
Well,
hold on.
I gotta just address this live chat. Ira says, I feel like post-birth abortions, not a thing, could accidentally get legalized. I added not a thing. Let me just read their comment then to be clear. I feel like post-birth abortions could accidentally get legalized if the wording in the law was bad. Do you know what post-birth abortions are? Well, first of all, they don't exist. But if it's after someone is born, then they are legally, in the eyes of the law, a person. And we have long existing laws on the record already that say murdering a person, homicide, is illegal. And no law, badly written or otherwise, can overrule murder, homicide. It's just not happening. Like your scenario cannot happen. It cannot happen because if it's post-birth, it's born. Abortion is no longer a possibility. If it's born, then it's a living, breathing human being person, and that would be murder, homicide.
And the concept of a partial birth abortion is equally as
like if you want to wonder where life,
an imaginary crime.
Like if we could all talk about how no one knows when life begins. We all agree. There's no one who's arguing against this. Everybody agrees if the baby is born out and it's outside the mother's body, that is a person. That would be murder if you killed them. There is no one who thinks otherwise.
There seemed to be some extremely naive argument that Tim seemed to be trying to make that I think he realized might have been dumb as he was saying it, that he seemed to be one of those people who's like, well, no matter what, you should do anything you can to keep your baby alive, even if it has no quality of life. Or like, okay, oh man, okay, I need to point this out because he said it so fast and I don't think you were familiar with the story he was referencing, that it was just so, and I had to stop listening right there. Okay, he mentioned the existence of this child who was born who they did not have a brain. They just had the brain stem and spinal cord. So all they could do was
someone sent me a story. Now I don't know if this was the one he's referencing, but I mean, if you're born without a brain, it's literally impossible to do what he did. I mean, what he said. I mean, I didn't have the story.
He said he could still eat, and it's like, no, he was kept alive. The child was kept alive with tubes, right? There's not.
But I didn't know what. Someone actually sent me another story where there was a fetus that was discovered without a brain or whatever, or missing a part of their brain, and the mother gave birth, and over the years, what ended up happening was the brain developed weird, and it was stuck inside like a cranial thing or something, and the baby actually had the brain, but it didn't come out into like their cranium or something until they reached a certain age, and like something shifted through like normal growth habits or whatever. So it wasn't even that it was born with. So it wasn't even born without a brain. Like, you can't live without a brain.
Okay, so brains are kind of insane, where even people who are well along living, they might run into some traumatic brain injury that'll shut off the brain, and the other half will start to pick up the slack. Like, they'll say things like, you got your left and your right brain, and if one's shut off, you won't be able to write anymore, or something like that. But that's not really how it works. They both hold hands and work through it together. But what I'm saying is, I don't know if you've ever. My brother once took a small video because he had tried to kill a wasp and its head came off, and the way, like, because your regular nerves, I don't mean to imply that the baby was like an insect, but it did not have anything going on upstairs, I think. And it was really sad because obviously their parents were a little delusional about how much thinking this child, like, the child ended up living several years just like that. I don't know, but the way Tim Pool was trying to say that he fed him, like he was able to eat, he was not even able to eat. Like, they were fed through tubes and stuff like that.
Right.
And that's not a quality. That's not life. That's not a quality of life that you should have to force on people. And that's what I was trying to. What was getting me all upset, and why I was saying he seemed naive, that he was in the position you need to do everything you can to keep baby alive, even if it, like, you could have a baby that's born that has half its head blown off, but still, if using every miracle of medicine you could possibly get a hold of, delay its death for several weeks or something like that. And I think that is cruel. Like, there's a certain point where that kind of, and that's why
you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that to like the family dog. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like, that's
why I feel like some people who don't have pets when they're children, they need to get that good old-fashioned misery out of the way. Because
that's the thing, though. Like,
hamsters.
Like, they don't like. I can't say they as conservatives as a whole, because I don't think this works.
No.
I don't think this specific thing does not work for conservatives as a whole. But religious conservatives, they don't seem to believe in the concept of death with dignity. They don't.
I don't.
They don't seem to.
It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is kindness and compassion I mean, you see it all the time with animals. Like if you see an animal suffering and there's nothing that could be done for that animal, you put it out of its misery as quickly and as painlessly as possible. And that's love and compassion. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, I'm someone who agree. I'm someone who takes the case. Like when I have a sick pet, I will do anything for them if it means they're able to even live a little bit longer with a good quality of life. I've had to give my cat, who had passed away a couple of years ago, I had to give him oral liquid medicine every day for months. Only because the doctor said, they'll have a good quality of life for as long as you're able to do this. And then once that wasn't possible, as the months and months went on and that good quality of life started to deteriorate, then it was simple. We had to put the cat down. But for those months where the quality of life was good, I was willing to do anything that would have extended it for as long as possible. And that's my view for all of it. If you could still maintain a decent quality of life, because we only get so long on this earth. So if you could enjoy it, maybe not at the 100% capacity you were before you were sick, but if it's still like 90% of life is great, I would say that's worth living. But if there's no quality of life at all, then the kind, compassionate thing to do.
That's what I don't know if that's like a lack of life experience or a lack of imagination for how bad life could be, but I don't know. That's to me that's cruelty. That's not any kind of compassion to force someone to live in a life of pain like that. I was also going to talk about, and I know I've already been on the line for a few minutes, but you had mentioned earlier that no one knows when life does literally begin, or what you could consider, I guess, in a philosophical sense, what personhood is. And
I mean, the funny
I've been
thing
around...
is, you could literally. There's a good argument for all of it, honestly. Like, even in the, I mean, I don't like making this because they'll always say, conservatives will probably reply with, "Well, we don't take that position because we're not coming from a religious position or something like that. We just believe all life, it's conception, regardless of what the religion is." But even the Bible makes the case for life begins at first breath, which is when you're born. I mean, even the Bible doesn't seem to know when life begins.
One good video about this, which is from someone. Do you know Renegade Cut?
I'm not familiar. No.
They have a good video. I think it's titled something like "The Bible Doesn't Condemn Abortion," and I like his videos because even though he talks about religion, he doesn't talk about it from a really snide or it's not like the cringe atheist kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Kind of like, it's respectful, and you could tell he really, and it's more of a I mean, he argues using the Bible itself. So if anyone in the chat, not to argue with people who obviously are just not going to be listening, but if someone's on the fence, like I've met people who they would be pro-choice if they feel like they were going to go straight to hell for believing that. So if you know anyone like in your life, and it's a short-ish video compared to his others as well. So
what do they call? What's it called again?
The name of the guy is Renegade Cut, and I believe the title of the video is "The Bible does not condemn abortion."
All right, I'll have to check that out.
Okay.
I wonder what their I didn't think about asking this, but I wonder what their feelings on the death penalty are.
Yeah. Their argument would probably be that these are innocent people as opposed to non-innocent people, probably forgetting that a lot of innocent people do get killed.
If all life is sacred, then it doesn't matter.
Here's a weird one if you really think about it, and I don't like to, there are people who probably believe that women who get abortions should be put to death.
I'm sure there are.
Given their logic that anyone who kills anybody should be killed, and also fetuses are people. Like that's not that far of a logic to say anyone who has an abortion should be killed.
The funny thing is, death penalty wise, I'm obviously 100% against it. But if you want to make my stance, if you want to even like say like the worst offenders, I mean, to me, what's worse than life in prison if you actually done something that horrible? I mean, death seems like such an easy way out. If you want to really punish someone, life in prison every day of their lives, sitting there thinking about I don't care if they're playing cards with the boys on their like break or whatever. I don't care. They still are in there forever. I mean, if your case is you want to punish someone, I never understood why death was like the ultimate punishment. Hell, if I ever did anything horrible and was put in jail, I would be like crossing my fingers for the death penalty.
We'll keep that in mind for your trial.
Yes, that's right. I would not want to. Yes, when on trial, you could play this video. I would not want to spend life in prison. That would be I could not imagine. You could say that Matt Binder definitely killed himself if I was found hanging in my jail cell.
Excellent, thank you.
There'd be no Epstein conspiracies there, I can tell you.
Oh man, that's brutal, dude. That's not where I wanted the conversation to go. Speaking of which, but what I was trying to say though is I know it's widespread the opinion. The church that I went to for a while, etc. Their belief is life does not just begin at conception. Life begins at fertilization. So they believed that Plan B was abortion. They believed that any contraceptive that did not allow eggs to implant in the uterus or whatever, they thought that was abortion. They it's wild, all that, how conservative that is. And further, I have met one person who claimed to believe that babies who are conceived through IVF treatment, you know what that is? IVF treatment?
Yes, in vitro fertilization?
Yes. That those babies do not have souls. And I didn't bring this up to her, but I was conceived through IVF fertilization.
You soulless
and I don't really know.
monster.
I know. I'm over here like.
I mean,
I guess that's why when we were kids, my sister's head used to turn around 360 degrees.
Maybe this will turn me into a godless heathen, but I don't believe anybody has souls. I think it's a thing that does not exist.
I think only cats have souls.
I mean, that's what drove me away from the Catholic Church when I was in 4th grade. That was the end of me really that was when I started to question. We had a priest who came to teach a religion class. He was the Monsignor of the school. By the way, a couple of years after I graduated from that school, he was sent away because it came out that one of my classmates was being sexually abused by him. But but the Monsignor, it was the same guy who came into this 4th grade class to teach us one day, and he told us that, people have souls and animals do not. And when you die, you'll go to heaven, and your pets, they will not. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. I was like, seriously, in my head, I was like, get the fuck. Like, you want to tell me I'm supposed to go to heaven? I've been told heaven's this magical place, everything's wonderful, and you're going to tell me it's wonderful and there's no animals there? My pets won't be there waiting for me? No.
I'm going to be honest, that one never sat well with me either. I was like looking at my cat and I'm like,
but that is the position.
Has a lot going on.
But that is the position of, I don't know about all religion or all even Christianity, Christian religions, but that is the Catholic position that animals, not non-human animals, don't have souls. And if the concept of souls is real, I refuse to believe that. But souls are not real, so it doesn't matter. We're all soulless.
That's so sweet, Matt. that's what got you. You're like, nah, I'm not gonna buy into this if I can't be with my pets.
Right. I mean, that was like.
Sorry.
That was.
You cut out for a second.
Oh, sorry. No, I mean that's legit. That made me start questioning everything. I was like, this is the position of the church. Then this is bullshit. This is bullshit. You're gonna tell me
That's exactly right.
You're gonna tell me that when I die, I'm not gonna be able to, and there's a heaven, I'm not gonna be able to ever see my dogs or my cats or my pets at all ever again. I'm not gonna see any animals up there.
Go off, King. Anyway, so there are some. In Louisiana they were introducing a bill saying that life begins at fertilization, and I actually was conceived via IVF in Louisiana, so that would be banned. And just to give you an idea of how like the process goes, right? You like when my parents were attempting to have children, she had 6 miscarriages, including through IVF they had tried, and she like one was a set of triplets that also didn't make it, and it wound up when one of the last attempts they were going to have. My mom at the time was nearly 35, and this time they were going to. They had asked my aunt, my dad's to carry us, and when they're going to make us, right, you get the vial, you make the fetuses, and then they go in, or not the fetuses, like the embryos, is that what it is at that stage, or zygotes practically, I think that's the stage before, and they like look at them and they like grade them, so it's like, these will probably make it, these really probably won't, right? And apparently the doctor kept shaking his head like, these are low quality, these these are all low quality zygotes. In order to have a chance at even one baby, you're going to have to use all 4. So then they were like, all right, let's implant all 4. And then bam, quadruplets. And that's the story about how we happened. And the only reason why I kept going through that personal story was to talk about how that choice was necessary for my mom to have the kind of family she wanted. And I mean, I've ran into people who are seemingly extremely pro-life, anti-choice, and then when you even start talking to them about how IVF is the same thing as some things that they would consider abortion, and they're just like, oh yeah, I never even thought about that. And it's extremely frustrating that they just don't get it. They don't get what's happening.
Right. I thank you for sharing that story. I mean, that's definitely another topic to bring up altogether in this whole thing, because is IVF next? Are they going to go after that next? I mean, it seems
that's what I'm saying, that that law in Louisiana, life begins at fertilization, that would delete the entire IVF industry. Though, I mean, there's so much money to be made on that side that they would probably come up with a way to excuse it, which is, just because it's the rich people who get to have babies when they want.
Right. Yeah. Thanks.
Go ahead. No, just as a little cap off, it's so frustrating to me that Tim Pool think he's got something there with his extremely inane example of someone giving birth on the way to get an abortion or something like that. Like that is just such a weird thought. No one's thought of this before. And when our actual rights, like, we're not, like, it's not, if you're pro-choice, like you say you are, you need to focus on that we're all losing our rights. You know what I mean? We're going to die.
Right. Well, some pro-choice people like to just focus on those that 1% of edge cases, and then take that 1% of edge cases, and then not even focus on what's actually happening in those 1% of cases, but then making outlandish, hypothetical, anecdotal scenarios. And that's what they focus on for the past 2-3 weeks since that Supreme Court leak came out. Some pro-choice people just happen to do that. Susan, have you considered that? I'm of course describing Tim Pool. But yeah, thank you for the call.
Yes, thank you.
And really appreciate you sharing that personal story. Between that story and the Neopets conversations, I'm not sure which one has touched me. Have a
Well,
great.
I hope you don't have to kill yourself in prison.
I hope so. I would really suck. I mean, remember, only life, only life. You know, if it was, you know, if it's 5
All right,
years,
talk to you
I can
later.
handle it. Take care. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye. I want to make sure. Super loud in my ears for some reason when I'm. I want to make sure that guy who tried to call him before. I got other people calling now, but I want to try to get that other caller who wasn't able to get on before. I know there's other people trying to call. I know. Oh my God, everyone's trying at once. There's like 10 people. Here we go. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how's it going, Matt?
Hey, I hear you now. Great.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I can. Can I pull you up? Your video up on the
I don't know
feed?
why it's not working. It
Oh,
can.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. You don't hear me now, but I hear you. I hear you.
I can't hear my ears either, so.
No. I hear
my bad.
you. All right.
I'll call next week.
All right, but I heard. That's the thing. Let me let him know. I'll take another caller, but we could hear you. You just couldn't hear me. Let's see. Hold on. There was someone who doesn't usually call in that was trying to call in. I want to see if they want to try again. Here we go. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name's Damien. I'm calling from Seattle.
Hey, Damien from Seattle. What's up? What would you like to talk about?
I just wanted to throw a concept by you that I've heard recently about the abortion argument that I've seen sway a few of the more libertarian, right-leaning people. It's not a perspective I necessarily need to share because I just think abortion should be available to anyone who wants it at any time. But
right, I'm interested. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the concept I've heard was from somebody arguing in support of abortion, saying that like none of this about first trimester, second trimester, third trimester really matters at all, because really what you should be focusing on is whether or not somebody has the right to use someone else's body with permission. And
right. I mean, that's but I feel like we make this one, and I mean, I don't think that convinces them, honestly, because then they'll say there's Tim's position would be, okay, I could see that before, like I don't know, 20 weeks maybe, but at 20 weeks you would just take the baby out.
Right, but I mean, would he say something like, say you had a kid and it needed a kidney, and you were the only person that could give it to, I mean, regardless if you want to give them, but should the government be allowed to force you to give it to them?
And he's brought that up before. His I mean, that's a much more sensible scenario than I think his was. Like, if you get into a car crash with somebody, and they need your organ, and you're fine, and they need like one of your organs to live. And you were at fault for the car crash too. Could the government
fault's got to go into it?
Yeah. I mean, I think they find way. I mean, it's a very sensible. I mean, way of approaching the subject, but they'll find ways to wriggle out of it, or at least, again, they'll say, yeah, that's good until 20 weeks, and then it's too bad. You gotta.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they'll do.
That's a good point. Cool. All right, man. Well, thanks for doing all the stuff.
No, I really appreciate the call, and please call in again. I noticed you were someone who hadn't called in before, so I wanted to take your call. I love new callers, and I hope they become regular callers.
I'm at work.
Oh, you're at work.
I'm at work too. I don't know.
I got it.
Yeah, I work at a frame shop, and I'm just doing like some nighttime work while people aren't here.
Next time you gotta call in with like your video, so you could be like everybody else who shows me exactly what they're doing while talking to me.
Yeah, I could. It's pretty fun. It's a lot of math that I didn't think I'd need when I grew up. So study hard, kids.
I heard that. Thanks a lot, Damien. Have a great night. Really appreciate the call.
Yeah, man. Take care.
Bye. Okay. Let's see. That other caller who had trouble before, he's trying again. Let's see if this works. Hey, do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear
Perfect.
me?
And I hear you. Can I pull your video up on the feed?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name's Philip. I'm calling from San Marcos, Texas.
Hey, Philip.
And I just wanted to kind of bring a little bit more context to the whole Joe Rogan and the Alex Jones stuff, because it's not just Alex Jones that he's hanging out with. Like his business partner Aubrey Marcus is like deep into like the conspirituality scene, and one of their other business partners is JP Sears. Well, I guess I don't know
really?
about.
I didn't know that.
Through Black Swan Yoga Studio in Austin, Marcus and JP Sears are partners in that business. And that's a huge scene and kind of a next for some of that stuff. And like, like when he moved to Austin, he was like started hanging. That was his like whole social scene, and it was around the pandemic when people were like really radicalizing too. Like, yeah, Joe Rogan radicalized like in front of everyone's eyes and publicly, and like no one really put it together because he's kind of had this like thing, but he doesn't really take. I don't know. He's not like they've done like performances with JP Sears and stuff like that. So, like kind of coming into contact with like JP's reactionary rhetoric that way, or like being associated that way. But like, you know, they're comedians in Austin, they're in the age scene, they're wealthy, you know, they hang out.
JP Sears is really he's a guy who I remember hearing about a while ago, and it was just like, oh yeah, he's sort of this like right leading comedian. And like his name completely dropped out from like the zeitgeist for me. And then like in recent like year or two, I hear his name coming up again, and I look him up again, and his shit is wild now. He's completely far out there. Oh my God.
Totally. Yeah. I used to like follow him when he was just like doing bits about like the shallowness of the new age marketing community and stuff like that. And, you know, like kind of funny. You tell from my background, I'm like kind of from the, you know, in the hippie scene, the wacky shirt, whatever. So, and like, yeah. And so like, you know, it just came across my Instagram that way, and, oh, that was funny. You know, I get that. I kind of have similar critiques. And then all of a sudden I started noticing it become more reactionary, or like transphobic. Like it was like kind of that mild stuff that peak in. And now it like you're just like, it's totally, you know, totally on stuff, and it's like full blown like new age Nazi. So
right. You know, it's weird what's happened over these past couple of years. So you have, you know, Trump getting into office, and you have some of these people move further right because of that, and they think Trump is cool and being MAGA is cool and all the, you know, all that weird stuff. But then it feels like it really started to change with COVID. And then now there's this, I mean, obviously anti-trans sentiment has always been out there, but I feel like sometime over the past year or two, it has really come, like people have been frothing at the mouth over being transphobic. They just want to hate trans people. And that's another thing I've noticed, people go far right. I mean, why the fuck does Dave Chappelle care so much about this issue? Like, dude, you're a rich comedian. Yeah. You're actually like talented. People of all political ideology liked you before you started doing this anti-trans stuff. Why are you sticking to it? Like, what is people have really lost their mind about these issues.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, and I think obviously like it's all an emotional response to like the state of the world, having like a clear way out, and I don't know. It's easy to kind of like understand where the problems are, because I don't have like I grew up like a Christian Protestant growing up in Texas here. It's like, you know, it's also I grew up in Bryan College Station, which is really conservative like area of Texas. Going back there to visit sometimes is like a little too much. And there are parts of Texas. So like, but like out of that stuff, yeah, like I don't know. It's just like that material, like, you know, having like, you know, the what is real about the world, and, you know, through, you know, stuff we've learned, scientific method, and kind of have like empiricism kind of grounds me. And I don't know, it's just like and that's what kind of grounded me when I was like exploring like new age stuff too. You know, I was always had that to kind of fall back onto, and I just don't know how you kind of can combat people and like you and it's like kind of the slow process that you did with like Tim Pool, and it's like a slow de-radicalization. Just that like you have to learn like real life stuff, and like I don't know, I've been following that Conspirituality podcast. That'd be kind of cool if you could maybe collaborate with something.
Oh yeah, I've been meaning to reach out to them. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, because that'd be because it's like a huge thing, and like
so you're in like the new age.
It's like
you're in like the new age scene.
I mean, somewhat. I mean, I'm aware of it. I'm like, you know, into mycology and stuff like that. So like, and you know, it's all kind of coming out of, you know, just like being into like bass hippie music and stuff like that too. So like,
right,
kind of tangentially.
So you've seen like the
surrounded
QAnon stuff sort of seep into that world.
Yeah, and I mean, like some of it is like building off of previous conspiracies kind of already, you know, alive and well. Because like around here, at least, it was a pretty deep libertarian scene too. So like a lot of Ron Paul people were like kind of blended in with the hippie crowd. And I saw people I know people who like were like relatively close, like radicalized right, and like making clown world memes and stuff like around 20 and stuff, and like really obscure like it was like at a party, and like there was some like festival kind of clownish music playing, and it was like, huh, clown world, you know. So, and it was like kind of like under his breath, and I was like, but you know, I'm kind of aware of these things, and I knew he was like a libertarian guy, and like, you know, super guns, like pretty closely associated with the 3D printing gun dude that was in Texas for a while.
I remember that one, yes.
Yeah, and so like, you know, so I watched that dude go progressively, you know, towards, you know, I got booted off Facebook for arguing with conservatives and using the Philbo Schwaggins name that I used, and it got reported for a fake name, and so I haven't been on there. But like even then, I could see that right wing and other friends of mine noticed it, and then like but once COVID happened, I think solidified a lot of other people's like previously held conservative or not conservative, but like conspiratorial beliefs that then like plant them in the right wing, because so much of that stuff is like veiled right wing, like it's like veiled anti-Semitism in most cases, and if you don't dig at it deeply or look at it or have like be exposed to like some critical analysis, you know, like the broader picture of it, like it just go unnoticed.
Right. No, this was a really great. How did you? This is the first time you're calling in, right?
I've called in a couple times. I think.
Oh, really?
Well, actually, yeah. It's very sporadic. And yeah, I'm just like an MR fan, Michael Brooks fan. That's the kind of how I got roped into all of this. Is started following Michael Brooks coverage of the Bernie Sanders campaign, and then just kind of like the YouTube wormhole worked on me that way.
Right. You know, I've been really thinking about what he's been saying, what he would say about, you know, he makes this case. That's why he was so strongly infatuated. Like he sort of usually stayed out of, like, obviously he covered the right wing media with us, like, you know, Sam and myself, and how I was focused on covering reactionary movements and white supremacist movements. And, you know, Sam would cover like what's going on Fox News and Ben Shapiro, Dave Rubin. And Michael sort of like got to the Dave Rubin stuff like that, become really infatuated with the IDW guys. And I think the reason was because they sort of were used. I mean, Jordan Peterson is a great example to use, using like just lost young men and providing them with like dumb life lessons or whatever, but it was what they needed or were looking for. And he sort of looked at, and I remember him like sort of being like, why isn't the left trying to provide that from a leftist perspective, and not, you know, and I've been thinking about that a lot lately. I really have. And I think someone, I mean, I don't think I'm smart enough to do it, but someone who is in that, Michael would have been, that's the sad thing. Yeah. You know, take that and like seriously try to formulate like a book or a written down like methodology or rules of life like Jordan Peterson did. Like, that's just not my world. Michael was really into that, like, you know, self-help stuff. Like, I know nothing about that stuff. And it's really sad because I think Michael, I think Michael would have done that, and who knows where that would have gone. But yeah, thanks for the call. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me call. And I noticed that Cullen was in the chat, and I just want to say, dude, tax the wealthy. That's why inflation's so bad right now, is because of the PPP loans that the corporations use to stock buyback. So I don't know what your problem is, dude. You were a real jerk the other day.
Right.
That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. Oh, Cullen's
Thanks
in the
for
chat.
thanks for
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah.
Have a good night. Thanks for the call. Feel free to call in again.
Yeah, will do, Matt. Have a good night.
Cullen says, "What do you call a guy who does a show about economics but knows nothing about the subject? A charlatan, a fraud? What? The show is called Scam Economy, like you call like the creator economy or the gig economy. It's not an economics show. You don't even know what the show is. Listen to any episode. We don't go into economics. Like maybe we'll talk about basic finance stuff as it relates to crypto, but there's no economic theory or thinking or anything like that in there. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Hello? Hey, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Is this me?
This is you. Yep. What would you like to talk about? Oh, first of all, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, shit. This is Jose from LA.
Hey, Jose from LA. What would you like to talk about?
Nothing much. I just wanted to say I love your show and keep doing what you're doing.
Oh,
I
thanks.
didn't know I was gonna get picked.
Oh yeah, this show is it used to be a lot easier to get picked, but then I also have this terrible habit for my sleep habits where I still think I'm in that mode where not too many people called in, and I try to pick up every one of the 100 people calling into the show. So you're likely to
I feel that.
you're likely to get picked if you call into this show.
Oh man, shit. Actually, I didn't have much.
That's okay. I mean, I'll take it. Hey, that's it's a great for calling in at midnight when I want to try to end the show. This is the perfect call, to be quite frank. I really appreciate the kind words, and thank you. So, how'd you find out about the show?
I go by Santa Cliff on the chat or the YouTubes and the thing. So that's my handle.
Okay, so
I've been on the. I've been watching Majority Report for like a while, like probably since like right when Trump won, like that time.
Right. And you were looking for a show that was pro-Trump, and you accidentally found us. No, I'm joking.
Nah, well, because like when I was watching MR at that time, I went back to like the old where you were on the show.
You went
like
through the archives.
Yeah. So like I just like started watching more of it, and then like caught onto your show, your channel. So it's like ever since then, I'm hooked.
Wow, I love it. Wow, you saw a young Matt Binder, one who can I still can barely grow a beard, but one who could even grow less of a beard and was much less polished.
You pass as young. You pass as young though.
Yeah, that's why I keep the beard. I mean, even if I wanted to get rid of it, I would not, because I think I would automatically look like, hey, why is this 11-year-old hosting this YouTube show? Have a great night, though.
11-year-old with a beard.
Right.
This bearded 11-year-old.
Right, now I'm a bearded 11-year-old. Right. Thanks for the call. Really appreciate it. Call in again next time with a topic, and I'd love to discuss. Have a great night.
All right, you too, man.
Bye.
One love.
All right, it's midnight here. I will do one, maybe two more calls, but that's it. I'm going to be strict about it. One or two more calls, because I got these super chats to read. Let me see if I can get it through a few super chats really quick. No, someone's already calling. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Devin from New Orleans.
Hey, Devin, you're back again. Love to hear from you again. Could I pull your? Always like to make sure. Can I pull your video up on the feed?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Devin, you called in on Tuesday. Great to hear from you again. What would you like to talk about tonight?
I did. So on Tuesday, you'd asked me a little bit, because I mentioned it on the Louisiana abortion bill, and I'd seen that a caller earlier brought it up. No, it wasn't like super prepared to talk about it when I called in earlier. But, I had been looking into it a bit more, and I think that some of the details around it are really interesting implications for other abortion laws that might come up across the country. The way that it was developed and is going through. So the particular legislation that the earlier was talking about, and then I talked about on Tuesday, was one that both defined a person at the moment of conception or fertilization, and also the most controversial part wanted homicide charges the person receiving the abortion, right? So when that got out of committee and went to the House, it caused like pretty much pandemonium. Now, I'd said that was amended and, basically put back until probably the next session because it was amended to exclude the extremely unpopular homicide part of the bill. And also a few of the lawmakers demanded that the wording change for certain forms of birth control and IVF, right? But what I didn't mention was that during the legislative session, it was one of the wildest things that I've seen. It was absolute pandemonium. There was something like 100 plus supporters of McCormick. McCormick is the sponsor of the bill. Republican state legislator out of Oil City, which is in North Louisiana. North Louisiana is the most conservative area in the state. And it was co-written by him and a Reverend Dusty Devers. So the senators
wait, what's the reverend's name? I heard
Dusty Devers.
Okay, I heard.
I'm gonna get to him in a second.
I heard Dusty Beavers, and I was like, well, that's a name.
Yeah, I mean, it's not much better, to be honest.
Right.
It really sounds like a real name. So this legislation was already co-written with a Baptist reverend, right? And they had 100 plus supporters come in and view from the balcony, right? And cause all kinds of commotion when the bill was decided to be amended and put on the back burner, until the wording was changed. There was a chant of shame from the supporters of the bill. The Reverend and McCormick led a prayer session on the in front of the legislature house. It's I mean, I can hold. There's a wild picture of that, actually. It's one of the can I send you this on Skype, or how do I do this?
You should be able to just drop it in there. There's like a text chat. You might have to click.
I don't actually ever use Skype.
All right, right next to my
I see it.
Right next to my name, there's like a little hamburger menu icon. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
So in that, see the picture, the person holding the Bible is McCormick.
That's not it. I can't click. You have to click. There's a little hamburger icon, I think, and then there's a little chat button at the bottom. Oh wait, there you go. Okay. Oh, it just popped up. Okay, I got it. No, you did it right. My bad.
Okay, maybe it was. All right. So that article, there's a picture there, and you can see the guy in front holding the Bible. That's McCormick.
I'm gonna pull this up on the feed. Here we go. People should be able to see this.
And the man behind him on the phone is the Reverend.
Okay. The Reverend looks like the guy in the background looks like the Trump, the campaign manager that Trump fired in 2020.
So that's what I was curious about, because I'm looking into this guy because I saw in the article that he's not even from Louisiana. He's from Oklahoma. He's a reverend for a church in Oklahoma. And I started Googling this guy, and apparently he led some seminar at the National Baptist what's called their convention, the National Baptist Convention, called Abortion Abolition. So this is a guy who's apparently going around the country to try to push this abortion legislation and co-writing these bills. So it's not just us.
He has a his church is called Apologia Church. What?
No, I think it's Grace Community Church of Elgin.
I found
is
another,
what I saw.
I found another one. He's on the Jeff Durbin, pastor elder of Apologia Church in Tempe.
Well, Dusty Devers is the rent, though. But
okay.
Yeah. So okay, yeah, the guy he's got, a very active Twitter account. He's apparently like speaking at these conventions. He's going to different states because he's based in Oklahoma. He's come to Louisiana to a bill.
Wait, are you talking about the guy in that picture? Are you talking about the guy in the front or in the background?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. I got because I'm looking up the guy in the background.
The guy in the back is actually McCormick.
No, it says.
Sorry, I flipped it in my.
No, the picture actually says. We were right at first. The picture says the guy is Durbin in the background.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm looking him up.
The guy in front. The guy is Dusty Devers.
He's
from Oklahoma.
But be clear here. I want you to know who this guy is in the background.
Mm-hmm.
He's a QAnon guy, a QAnon pastor, who is promoting Ron Watkins' run for Congress.
Mm-hmm.
So he's literally directly contact.
Yeah,
to,
and
to
these guys, this is taken. The Louisiana legislature, they led a prayer for reporters, during this whole bill debate.
Right.
This is a national campaign. This is just the beginning.
Right.
So it's like the more I look into this, the more devious it becomes, and the more like very, very well planned and orchestrated. So also, even though that bill got pushed back, their mirror bill that got introduced in the state Senate. So like now we have to worry about that. We have a governor, however, anti-abortion Democratic governor who, was responsible for signing the trigger law we have in place right now. But he, Louisiana right to life and all of these, most of our anti-abortion lawmakers are against charging the person getting the abortion. They're more interested in attacking abortion providers. So Governor Edwards has promised to veto any bill that introduces homicide or any kind of charges akin to that to someone getting an abortion. However, he's in his next session. And we just had a whole redistricting that is actually supposed to be to the courts and is likely to be challenged, but I don't know if that's going to make a difference for by the time that we vote for governor, because the redistricting made it to where our state has like one district that's the black district when by population, we have at least 2. So it's actually in violation of the voting rights. And the governor vetoed the redistricting, and then the House actually voted to overturn the veto. That could have a lot of implications for this abortion bill, especially if that other one that was sent on the back burner comes back with or without rewording when we get a new governor in, depending on who that new governor is. Because we have a lot of hard right people that are throwing their hats in the ring. Scalise and Kennedy. It's not looking good.
Right. Thanks for the call, Devin. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out on this stuff. Definitely call in, by the way, and whenever you have updates or anything, or even call in no matter what. But if you got updates, definitely call in.
Yeah, I just thought it was important that people like are aware and have like this reverend and this what seems to be like a national campaign on their radar.
Yes, for sure. Thanks so much.
Right.
Have a great night. Bye. No, absolutely. If always call in if you have local politics. I mean, I don't even mean local even. I mean like statewide, something specific to where you live. Please, definitely. Oh boy. One more call, and when I was hanging up, I think I just hung up on everybody. One more call. Ugh. This is not working. I might have to. I think that might be it. For some reason, I cannot get this to work. Folks, I think. Let me read a few super chats because I got to do it anyway. I just literally tried to take a call and it hung up on everybody. All right, let me read the super chats. Maybe this will get fixed in a second. Let me do the super chats. Here we go. All right, let me try to take this. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Let me read these chats.
Hello?
I gotta do it anyway.
Hey, you're on the air. I see you. You see. Hello? Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Are you? Hello?
Yeah, you have to turn down your live stream and just listen to the Skype. There we go. Yep, you should be able to hear me now. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Danny. Can you hear me?
Hey, Danny, I can hear you. Can you hear
Hello?
me?
Hold on. I'm moving.
All right. I hear you, by the way. I hear you. So it works.
I don't hear. Oh, man, I don't hear you.
All right.
Hello.
All right. I'll give you a second. I hear you. Just letting you know in the chat, I hear you. I'll give you a second to see if you can fix it, but otherwise I do have to move on.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Hey Danny, I got your name. What to talk about?
Yeah. Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Like, now I understand why people think this complicated. Like when they try to call in and they're like, "Is this me?" and all that.
No,
stuff.
don't worry about it. Can I see you using your video? Do you mind if I bring you into the feed?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So, what was it to talk about?
Well, the first thing I would say is I think that the reason that you seem to your feedback from the Tim Pool viewers.
Okay, cool.
You seem like a really relatable guy.
Oh, are you a Tim Pool fan who came from there, or you know me from before that?
I thought about pretending, but no, I'm not Tim Pool fan.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a fan of yours and the majority report,
Thank
but
you.
I mean, I think that you just come across as a really relatable guy, like a really down-to-earth person. So, I mean, I think that's why you're getting the reaction when, like, new people see you. It's like is just, you're just kind of a chill guy or whatever.
Oh,
So
well,
like,
thank you.
yeah. I had a couple thoughts, but I mean, you know how it goes. Like I was like a little nervous. I just had a couple things I was thinking about.
Yeah, don't be nervous. Just like this is you're talking to the chill guy here, so no need to.
Well, that's what I'm feeling. Like, yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, I'm a long-term fan of like yours and Sam and all that.
Thank you.
And I appreciate what you do. I think you did a great job.
I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I guess the reason I thought about calling in is because like for Mother's Day I went to see my mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she got remarried and they're very happy, and I like that. But oh man, I found out that her husband is not great politics, not good. And it was just out of nowhere. Like I've known this guy for like 3 years now, and it makes my mom happy. I'm happy for her. But like, whoa, like it was like something normal. My mom is a healthcare worker, right? And she just brought up how badly Trump did during COVID stuff, and we were just talking about like things that could be done. We were just having a normal conversation, like what should be done about COVID. Not like it's not like a politics thing. It was just like, hey, yeah, Trump pretended it wasn't real. Yeah, okay. And he, out of nowhere, just barged in, and it made my wife uncomfortable, and it was weird. And I was I don't know, I was kind of wondering your opinion on how to talk to someone who's kind of divorced from reality. Like he felt like it felt like he was like, okay, this guy's been watching OAN or something. He's a nice guy, and it felt like you were really good at that kind of thing. And I don't know, I was just curious if you had a thought on it. And I didn't expect to be the one that you would actually answer the call to.
No, that's what. Give me an example of a position that like something he came out. You said you knew him for 3 years. What was like the position that he came out on? You were like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah, like the biggest problem was that I didn't know how. Like, I have lots of opinions, but like it was like he came out of nowhere and just sort of like. Well, it started out with him like being Biden sucks. I'm like, yeah, Biden sucks. Like, I don't care. Like, what are you arguing with me right now, right? Like, yeah, I think Biden's weak. I overall.
Right, but you think Biden sucks for different reasons than he thinks Biden sucks.
For different reasons than him, I'm sure, yeah. But I'm just like, yeah, I think he's weak. So, what is your issue? Is kind of what I came up. That's how, the direction I took. I was like, so what's your issue? And then, I don't know, I guess it kind of felt like it was turning into some QAnon shit. I was like, oh man, you're what? Like, I found out that he watches Newsmax.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, so how do you start talking to someone who has no attachment to reality at all?
Right.
Like,
it's hard. I mean, it's hard. I mean, I'll say this is different than, talking to someone like Tim Pool. I mean, this is a guy who, he's not watching Newsmax and OAN. He knows, like, he's aware, like, of what's going on and what he's doing. Whereas your dad might not be. He might be someone who's been, I'm sorry, excuse me, your stepdad might not be. He's someone who's been, driven down a rabbit hole. He's not like in the business. So, he likely believes it, not doing it for like monetary gain or, so I mean, I would say find the position where you agree and sort of talk to him about that. It's also hard to do this without knowing exactly something specific. Just watching Newsmax, I mean, he could just be a Trump fan. It doesn't necessarily mean he likes everything that Newsmax is talking about, but they certainly like Trump, right? So he likes watching Newsmax. I don't know. I would need to know, I think, a specific position, but I would say find that position that you both agree on and talk about why you agree on it, and see how you can extrapolate it to something that you don't agree. Take for example, on Tuesday, a Tim Pool fan called in who this caller labeled himself a conservative. He said he was a conservative. And we were talking for a bit, very nice guy. And we were talking, and at some point we got into this discussion.
Caller. I watched that.
Yeah,
the first caller.
Right. And at some point we got into a discussion, and I brought up like universal health care, and I mentioned to him, like, there's reasons why even a conservative should be for it. I can't think of anything more pro-business for both like workers and employers than universal health care. People who are employed somewhere can decide to go out and start their own business, or innovate. If you're conservatives love innovation, right? Going out and like creating something new. Elon Musk, he's not an innovator really, but they think he is. But Elon Musk is amazing because he's an innovator. He's created so many things, even though he's never created anything. He's always just bought it. But they like that, right? I mean, universal healthcare is healthcare is like the number one thing that prevents people from leaving their jobs. People can save up money to cover like their salary for a few months, or find freelance work to cover their salary, or very basic, necessity in terms of like rent or mortgage, or food, things like that, just the basics. But the healthcare comes in and all the time fucks people up, because healthcare is just this enormous cost. And even when you pay for healthcare and have insurance, if you get sick, you also need to come up with money to cover what the insurance doesn't cover, or the premiums or whatever. So it's probably like the biggest barrier for people to get by. Imagine not having to worry about that. All these people be able to start businesses or innovate or whatever. And then on the flip side, imagine an employer didn't have to pay for their employees' health care. Imagine if the employer had this extra money that they could use in salaries to entice more people to come work for them, or along with that, be able to invest more into their business or whatever. I don't see how universal health care isn't a win for everybody: progressive, conservative, worker, employer. It seems pretty simple to me. And
It's actually, I remember it's one of Sam's hobby horses to, whenever that comes up, to say, like, wouldn't you like to not deal with that? Like, just the fact that you have to deal with it is like a new job for you. Sam it's one of his hobby horses. I remember, like,
right.
I'm talking about, like, Sam hates the idea of having to, like, the fact that they act like it's something you need to study and stuff. Like, no one wants to do that. Like, nobody wants to do it. Like, it sucks.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, how is that not agreeable to everybody?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call. I really appreciate it. Feel free to call in anytime. Really, this was great. Thank you.
I appreciate you answering, and I think you did a great job, and you're doing great work. Thank you.
Have a great night. But thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, appreciate you. Bye.
All right, folks, that's it. Not gonna take any more calls. I know there's a bunch of people still calling. But I can't. It's getting late. It's 12:30 here. I gotta send out a Skype. I know. I see even some regulars calling in. So listen, we're getting to that point where I'm not gonna be able to pick up every call. It's just that simple. Sorry. I was taking like 10, 20, and also I'm not even doing like clips anymore. I'm losing out on like the YouTube clips. I think it's clear at this point that I'm going to rebrand the post Scam Economy live stream. In the beginning, we were getting a lot of crypto calls, but I think, at least for my audience, there's so much that they have experience with crypto with that they could talk about. So I'll still do post show after Scam Economy. I'll still ask for crypto calls, but I'm not going to call it the Scam Economy post show or the crypto hotline anymore. Please, if you have crypto stories, call in. But I think it's time to just brand it what it is. It's just the Matt Binder Thursday night live stream to talk about whatever, right? So from here on in, that's what I'm going to do. Just a post show. It's a post show, a broad post show. All right, let me get to some let me get to the super chats. Here we go. Ramble Ron with a super sticker. Thanks so much, Ramble Ron. Matthew Odom with a $20 super chat. Binder, you are amazing. Aw, thank you, Matthew. Thank you so much. Kowalski with a super sticker. Nidungu Kamu. I'm really sorry if I mispronounced that, but I don't know how to pronounce your name. I would have loved that you had pressed him a little more on Sam Cedar. There's something that hasn't been clipped where I do actually. And it's actually a funny part where Tim says that people like Sam, if they want to get on other people's shows and don't want to get blacklisted, they need to like hold back and not go after other people. And so I say to him, "Oh, so you want Sam to self-censor?" And he goes, "No, it's not self-centering. He just shouldn't be a dick." And I'm like, "So what?" I was like, Sam is too bad to be on people's shows. Like, oh man, Sam Cedar's bad. It was pretty funny. Someone should find that portion and clip it and send it to Sam for tomorrow. It's towards the very end of the show when I was on with Tim. But I do press him more on Sam. That's not all that clip. I can assure you that Sam played. Please, if someone can find it for Casual Friday, please. Let me know. DM me on Twitter. Kowalski with a super chat. No heaven for Matt, just a farm upstate. Yep. Santa Cliff with a super chat. One love. Thank you, Santa Cliff. Let me get to the Twitch and see if we got any new bunch of new followers on Twitch. No new Twitch subscribers. Remember, if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber connected to your Twitch account and you get a free Twitch Prime subscription every month, that means Amazon's literally giving you free money every single month you pay for Amazon Prime. You just have to give it away to your favorite Twitch streamer. If you don't, you're just letting Amazon keep an extra $5 of your Amazon Prime payment a month. Like, they literally give you free money to give to anyone you want who's a creator on Twitch. Don't let it go to waste. Even if you don't give it to me, give it to somebody who's a Twitch streamer. Seriously. But if you want to give it to me, I'll take it for sure. Also, patreon.com/MattBinder. That's the number one thing. If you can't afford to become a subscriber and you are subscribed to Amazon Prime, the Twitch Prime thing is the best thing you could do. But if you have extra $5 a month, burning a hole in your pocket, please think about becoming a Patreon subscriber. That is that subscription is what I sort of gauge where the show is at. And that's the subscription where I'm going to figure out when I can bring people on board or, hire somebody to help clip portions of the show, clip calls, create short social media clips to share on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. So again, if you could become a Patreon subscriber, patreon.com/MattBinder. Got a bunch of people who subscribe with Prime. A Van Down by the River, subscribe with Prime. Wobbly Bits X, subscribe with Prime. Antisocial Communist just resubscribe with Prime 3 months in a row now. Thank you so much. And remember, the Twitch Prime subscriptions, the freebie one from Amazon, does not auto-renew. Jeff Bezos is counting on you forgetting to resubscribe to my Twitch channel manually each month. That's how they get you. If you're using the free Twitch Prime subscription, you have to you have to manually renew that subscription every month. 54 Ibu46 with a Prime subscription. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's go to... I want to thank the Patreons who've joined over the past since the last show. Let me go to that right now. Last Scam Economy was... When was last Thursday? May 12th? Let's see. We got Stephen S., Gerald W., Spencer L., Anthony R., Gerard M., Richard M., and Brian B. Thank you all so much for becoming patrons. Really appreciate it. Can't do this show without you. Can't do this show without the Twitch Prime subscribers. Can't do this show without the YouTube super chatters. Can't do this show without even anyone who listens, period. Oh, one more thing I'm going to ask you guys to do. Especially if you don't subscribe to anything, that's cool. This is completely free to do. Go to Apple Podcasts. Go to Spotify. Leave a review for Scam Economy. Leave a review for Doomed. A few people from the Tim Pool audience brigaded the podcast reviews and left negative reviews who didn't even listen to the podcasts. If you guys could go and offset that, that would be great. If not, that's cool. But yeah. Again, if you want to leave a bad review, but you actually listen to the show and you have an actual critique, that's fine. But it's pretty clear from the comments that some of them left that they didn't listen to the show. And before I go, who should I raid on Twitch? I raided Progressive Brat, a Twitch streamer I came across who has like a smaller channel, but still very cool. And I rated her on Tuesday after the Tim Pool stream, the Tim Pool post show I was doing, and apparently I gave her, according to her, the biggest raid she ever received, and she was so happy that it made me so happy. Like, it felt good to raid somebody who really appreciates the raid. So, is there anyone on right now, a small progressive streamer maybe, who can use the folks, the raiders? I want to raid someone like Progressive Brat, who has a small but cool stream, who will get audience they usually don't have. I've rated everyone. I've rated the person everyone is already mentioning. I've rated all these people so far. I want to try to raid someone new. Like, that was the first time I rated Progressive Brat. Give me someone brand new. Is there anyone new or with a small channel? I want to spread the love to someone who deserves it and doesn't get the attention that they rightfully deserve, I guess you can say. Let's see. I guess I'll do, I don't know. Abelina Sabrina's reading Smut right now, right? Oh, Riverboat Jack is literally doing Matt versus Tim. Like, I gotta do that. I gotta do Riverboat Jack, right? That would make the most sense, right? I mean, if Riverboat Jack is literally watching the debate, then how do I not send people there? That would have been something to tell me. I'm doing that. Sending them right now. Go watch my debate with Tim Pool with Riverboat Jack. Here we go. All right, everyone. Really appreciate all the love and support and kind words I've received over this past week. I'll see you guys all real soon, and hope you enjoyed this Scam Economy post show.